Hey there and welcome. In this short video, we're going to talk about your novel and do you have talking head syndrome? Before we begin, I want to give a shout out to the 3-step writer's block masterclass that is happening this Friday, February 26th at 12 p.m. Eastern. If you're stuck, if you feel like you haven't been moving forward, if you are just totally terrified of the blank page, I have a 3-step process to show you on how to finally beat that writer's block. So stay tuned. The link is in my bio to sign up. It is this Friday live, February 26th at 12 p.m. and we'll see you there. Okay, so do you have talking head syndrome? So talking head syndrome is essentially when your characters are not moving within your book. Now, this is not a good thing for your novels, and the reason for that is because it doesn't get the reader into the story. It feels like as if they're being talked at instead of actually really engaging with the characters and feeling like as if they're moving with them. So here's how you can tell. Number 1, stage it out. So pretend you're actually doing like a screenplay or a stage play and you're telling the actors where they're going to move on stage. So are they just standing there? Like if you're actually doing stage direction, have they moved across the room? Have they gone forward to shake a hand? Have they exited the door? You know, are they actually physically moving according to your stage directions? Tip number 2 is asking yourself, when was the last time that they moved? So if you look back into your script, into your book, actually ask yourself, find the location of when that character last moved. You might actually be surprised to find that it has been a couple of pages since you actually pushed them across the room, or maybe they started the car and they're still driving. You know, there are a lot of ways that you can read it and you'll find that like, oh my gosh, they actually haven't moved from their location in a while. Tip number 3 is asking yourself, how big is your dialogue? So if you find that when you look at your page, you actually have like chunks of thick text versus there being like little spots of dialogue, then that's a sign that there's something going on with your stage direction. It is likely that that person might not be moving, or maybe they're not actually interacting their dialogue with their movement. So by looking at your pages of like actually visually, you'll be able to tell if large chunks of text exist that are the same, and that's going to give you a hint. And the final tip is comparing your page to the page of a favorite book. So go ahead and pick up a favorite book, pick out a chapter or a scene that you just absolutely love and look at it and compare it to your work. So if yours looks like it's kind of like a big chunk of text versus that book that's your favorite, it's probably a sign that you might be having and suffering from this talking head syndrome, which is essentially when your characters are just not moving forward. They're not actually taking action. They're just talking. So that's going to give you a sign to look into it, really further dissect your manuscript and understand where your characters are and if you are suffering from the talking head syndrome. And a bonus note, remember that physicality is super important in your work. You know, it is really about actions and like how those actions speak louder than words sometimes. Because sometimes when we're angry or we're sad, we don't say, hey, I'm angry, hey, I'm sad. You know, we actually show it. So keep that in mind as you're working through your manuscript and as you're doing your revisions, because those are going to be really important. Remember, you can do this, you're a writer. And if you feel like you're stuck, remember, we have a masterclass that's coming on Friday. The link is in the bio, and I hope to see you there.